All right, let's do some rapid fire stocking stuffer ideas and maybe a couple things for under the tree for the beginning or intermediate drummer in your life. So first off, if your drummer does not already have a drum key, or more accurately, 3 or 4 drum keys, since they get lost all the time, they need a drum key. And even better if it's attached to a little tiny flashlight for making the adjustments you need this thing for in the tiny dark spaces where they actually occur. Similarly, never hurts to have a ratchet style drum key if you're actually trying to change a drum head. This is so much faster than trying to crank the other kind by hand. Something that's kind of fun. This is a cymbal chain that you just lay on top of the cymbal mount to your ride cymbal to turn it into a sizzle cymbal instantly. These come in a sort of a heavy gauge and a light gauge. Get the light gauge, it gets the desired effect a little bit better. This thing doesn't look like much, but this is way better than a moon jowl. This is a little external muffler or mute for your snare. You clip this to the hoop, and it lies flush against the batter head, and then you can easily take it off if you don't want it. So for a snare drum that doesn't have an internal muffler, this is a great thing. If you want to kind of expand your drummer's universe, you take a peek at their kit and you say, hey, do they have little itty-bitty cymbals already? If they don't have little itty-bitty cymbals, you need to get them this, which is a cymbal extender. This screws onto the end of an existing cymbal stand to extend it up and allow you to top it with another aforementioned itty-bitty cymbal, aka splash cymbal. Splash cymbals, you can go from cheap to expensive. This is the best cheap splash cymbal available, a 6-inch B8 splash. This has a great tone for being pretty inexpensive because it's in the cheap alloy of B8. 6-inch Sabian B8 splash, that's a great addition. You can go up and step up into like the 8-inch, but really once you get to 8-inch and above, I would recommend that you go to the professional B20 alloy. So something like this is a 10-inch Sabian AAX splash. You can get the Sabian AA, the Sabian XS20, Zildjian A. Those are all the same alloy, same idea. Really, if you're looking for a home run, get an 8-inch or 6-inch splash. That's really the kind of sound that they're probably after. Or this thing, I swear by this, the AAX Ozone, Sabian Ozone splash. This is one of the greatest, trashiest splash cymbals ever made. Okay, so another thing you can do with a cheap splash, and for this I'd recommend an 8-inch, so something in the B8 alloy, so Sabian B8 or a Zildjian ZBT splash, 8-inch size, maybe the 6-inch, but probably 8-inch. Just a little bit of help. This is something that you actually can use to alter the sound of a snare drum in a kind of cool way that is in vogue right now. So here's your typical snare sound. You throw a splash cymbal on here, and it makes it high and tight, which is awesome and cheap and easy and kind of fun. Along those same lines, you can get these, the big fat snare drum. This is akin to a trick that people used to do by flipping over an old drum head and throwing it on top of a drum head. So again, here's the bass sound. And then with this on, it's going to be big, as the name suggests, a big fat kind of 70s sound. Just like that, and then it comes easily off. That's a great thing. So if you're a drummer also, you know, we all know the more cowbell thing, but yes, a cowbell is great to get. If you get one, you want to get one that has a mount like this, because this kind can be attached to the stem on the hi-hat and not need any extra accoutrements. Or you can also get something like this, where this can mount onto a cymbal stand and sort of hang off to the side and allow a cowbell to hang off from there. Another thing I'd recommend that you can put on top of a hi-hat stand is this. This is a Mallets Tambourine. You put this on the hi-hat stem, and then it'll shake when you actually step on the hi-hat, or you can hit it. These are great. Very much recommend these. So another thing, drummers can't have too many sticks and stick-like things. So a few things, if your drummer does not already have a retractable wire brush, get them a retractable wire brush. Retractable is important, and it'll have a little wire handle like this. Vic Firth makes a really good one. But there's a lot of good ones out there. If your drummer does not have dowel rods, ProMark makes a great one in the hot rods. These are great, kind of a must-have. If your drummer does not already have mallets, get them some mallets. I would actually recommend you get reversible mallets. This one here is the Vic Firth 5A dual tone American Classic. These are great because you can use the mallets, then flip them around and use them just as drumsticks and continue on. A couple things that are fun. I like these Vader whip brushes. These are what are called rakes. So rigid brushes that have their own kind of strange sound. And then similarly, this is kind of like dowel rods, but I like these Vader whips. Okay, so for Under the Tree, I've got 2 ideas for you. I guess one other thing is that whatever stick your drummer favors, get a bunch. Get them like 4 or 5 pairs of those, but be exact with the stick they like. If your drummer doesn't have a favorite stick yet, then the best thing to do is to guess that it's going to be like a 5A. Get Vic Firth 5A, wood tip, a few pairs of that. That's a good middle of the road stick that almost any drummer can make use of, and it's not too heavy, not too light. Good middle of the road stick. Okay, this is a great thing for Under the Tree, the crash pad. This is a drum rug that has a block already sewn into it that you put your bass drum against to keep your bass drum from slipping away from you as you play it. I will never go back to using a regular drum rug after using this thing. So let's see if I can get it out here so you can see. It's great. It'll accommodate basically any size drum set within reason. And I should know because I've got a huge drum set. But you just slam the rim of the resonant side of the bass drum against it and then set up your kit around it, and it's great. One other thing, this is a little bit risky, so you need to sort of gauge for yourself. If your drummer, if their ride cymbal, in other words, the biggest cymbal in their array that looks like this, if their ride cymbal, which is probably the most important cymbal in your cymbal array, if it looks like a penny, like this, and you can put a penny right up next to it because it'll be the same alloy as a penny, which is B8 bronze alloy. If it has the same hue as a penny, it's time to upgrade that. These are good. They're decent for sure, but open up a new world by replacing this with something that's in the B20 alloy. And I've got a specific recommendation for something you can often find relatively cheap used, but that opens up that door into the good world of ride cymbals with character. So again, if they've got a ZBT or ZHT in the Zildjian line or a Sabian B8, then that's the sort of good beginner cymbal, and it's time to move on to something in B20. The specific recommendation I would have, they don't make these anymore, but you can find them used all over the place, Sabian Xs 20. So again, this is a 20-inch ride cymbal. It's more crashable. It sounds better in every respect. I have a different video that kind of proves that point. You can also, get new. You'd be looking at like the Sabian AA or the Zildjian A. That's sort of the step into professional grade. Ride cymbal is the most important cymbal. This is the best thing to upgrade if you're going to upgrade one cymbal. All right, good luck out there and happy holidays.